Imagine a universe where advanced civilizations have far surpassed human imagination, where technology can bend space and time, and where power is defined by the ability to control countless planets. In this universe, humanity is but a tiny speck, just beginning its journey to uncover the secrets of the stars. One day, however, the planet Terra Earth, seemingly the weakest of all, became the focus of the Galactic Union Council, a coalition of ancient species with powers no one dared challenge. They arrived with a simple message: kneel and join the alliance, or be erased. But what happened next was far from simple. Behind humanity's enigmatic smiles lay an untold story. What forced the Council, the unshakable rulers of the galaxy, to reconsider their entire understanding of war, peace, and strength? What secrets had humanity been hiding? This journey will take you through one surprise after another, offering a fresh perspective on what we thought we already knew. The Galactic Union Council, known as the Consortium, symbolized supreme power across the galaxy. With millions of years of history, they had built a governing system encompassing thousands of planets, maintaining order through rigid laws and military might that no one could resist. Whenever they appeared, no civilization dared defy them. This time, the Consortium set their sights on Terra, a small planet on the galaxy's edge. Terra wasn't a target for its resources or strategic location. To them, it was a primitive world where humans, frail but curious creatures, were rapidly evolving. However, signals received from this planet compelled the Consortium to intervene. A high-level Consortium conference was convened aboard the space station Orion Prime. Representatives from the most influential civilizations attended. A holographic image of Terra hovered above the massive hall. The council members debated their approach. "Humans are a young civilization but are advancing rapidly," said the Zevran representative, their tone sharp. "We've seen this before. Civilizations like theirs often become a threat if not controlled early." The Tailier representative, a species renowned for their military strategy, nodded in agreement. "They have potential but are also chaotic. Their history is riddled with wars and internal conflicts. A civilization like that could destabilize the galaxy if left unchecked." Finally, the Consortium leader, an ancient entity named Oriones, spoke. "Terra will be invited to join. We shall offer them membership in our alliance. Should they refuse, we will use force to ensure their compliance." A fleet was dispatched to Terra, led by the colossal warship Etherian. This marked humanity's first encounter with an extraterrestrial force of such magnitude. When Etherian appeared in Earth's orbit, governments worldwide descended into chaos. A message from Etherian echoed across all communication channels: "We are representatives of the Consortium. Humanity, you stand at a historic crossroads. Join our galactic alliance and gain access to our knowledge and technology, or face the consequences of defiance." In New Geneva, the Global Coordination Center, Earth's top leaders gathered to deliberate. The conference room was tense, filled with heated arguments. "They have technology far beyond ours. If we refuse, we'll be annihilated," warned a military representative. "But joining means losing our sovereignty," countered a scientist. "We'd become their puppets." Amid the clamor, a calm voice emerged. Dr. Eleanor Vasquez, a renowned scientist and head of the Human Council, spoke. "We must not act rashly. Before making a decision, we need to understand them. If they are here to dominate, we must know why." A meeting was arranged between the Consortium representatives and Eleanor's team. On board Etherian, the first encounter between humans and extraterrestrials unfolded. The Consortium members, towering and exuding authority, regarded Eleanor with curious eyes. Humans, we have come to offer you the opportunity for unparalleled advancement, said Oriones, his voice resonant as though echoing from centuries past. Join us, and you will no longer struggle for survival. We will usher you into a new era. Eleanor smiled, her tone calm yet piercing. We appreciate the offer. But before deciding, we'd like to understand more about you. The consortium has existed for millions of years, so why are you paying attention to us, a small and primitive species? Oriones hesitated briefly, surprised by the question. After a moment, he replied, because your development is unprecedentedly rapid. We've seen this before. If left unchecked, you could become a threat to yourselves and the galaxy. Eleanor met his gaze steadily. So, are you here because you're concerned for us, or because you're worried about yourselves? The question cut through the consortium's arrogance like a blade. For a moment, the air grew heavy. But instead of responding with force, Oriones took a step back. The meeting extended for hours, filled with deep discussions about war, peace, and the differences between civilizations. While the consortium valued strength and control, Eleanor and her team emphasized humanity's values of freedom, creativity, and self-determination. As the talks concluded, Oriones began to realize that despite their primitive nature, humans possessed a unique spirit, a blend of curiosity, ingenuity, and unyielding determination. It made him wonder if the consortium had underestimated Terra. And this was only the beginning of a series of events that would change not just humanity's destiny but the future of the entire galaxy. Aboard the massive warship Etherian, representatives of the Galactic Union Council and humanity faced each other for the first time. On the side of the consortium, Oriones and his advisors stood in a line, exuding their trademark arrogance, their cold, piercing gazes scanning each representative from Earth. In contrast, the human delegation, led by Dr. Eleanor Vasquez, appeared composed, even slightly curious. Oriones, his voice resonating like metal striking glass, began, "We bring you a monumental opportunity. By joining our alliance, you will gain access to limitless resources, profound knowledge, and protection from threats beyond your imagination. All we ask is a simple condition: submission to the leadership of the consortium." For a few seconds, the room was silent. But unexpectedly, a chuckle broke the tension. It wasn't one of disrespect but a genuine reaction of surprise. Colonel Ethan Monroe, one of Earth's military advisors, let out a soft laugh, his eyes glinting with subtle defiance. Eleanor smiled, her voice calm yet razor-sharp. "We appreciate your concern. But before considering such a proposition, we'd like to understand, why does a mighty alliance like yours need a small planet like ours? And, if you don't mind, could you clarify what you mean by submission?" Oriones's brow furrowed slightly, though he maintained his composure. "Submission simply means acknowledging an undeniable truth: your species requires the guidance of those far more evolved. Your history is rife with war, division, and chaos. We are here to ensure stability and lasting peace." Eleanor nodded, a spark of mischief in her eyes. "If that's the case, allow us to introduce you to the chaos you mention." She signaled, and a series of images began to play on the holographic display aboard the Etherian. First, scenes from World War II, muddy trenches, tanks rolling through bombed-out landscapes, and an image of Winston Churchill with his famous declaration, "We shall fight on the beaches, in the streets, and we shall never surrender." This, Eleanor explained, is World War II, one of the largest conflicts in our history. Over 70 million lives were lost. But it was also a time when humanity united, innovated, and overcame seemingly insurmountable odds. radar, encryption, nuclear energy. The technological advancements we use today were born from that era of strife. Oriones raised an eyebrow, unable to respond before a new series of images appeared, portraits of great strategists like Alexander the Great, Napoleon Bonaparte, and principles from The Art of War by Sun Tzu. War is not merely destruction, Eleanor continued. It is also a crucible for adaptation, creativity, and triumph over adversity. A consortium advisor interjected, his tone laced with irritation, but these are merely internal conflicts. How does this prove your worthiness to exist independently in the galaxy? This time, Ethan Monroe chimed in, his voice brimming with enthusiasm. Oh, if you want real creativity, check this out. The display shifted to a montage of memes. A Shiba Inu dog with the caption "Much wow, such power." A clip of a scientist spectacularly failing at a rocket launch, laughing as though it were a monumental success. The council representatives glanced at one another, visibly perplexed. "What is this?" one of them finally asked. Eleanor explained, her faint smile barely concealing her pride. "This is how we deal with failure. Humanity doesn't just learn from success, we learn from our mistakes. We laugh at ourselves, using humor to connect and move forward. To you, it may seem illogical, but to us, it's survival." Oriones remained silent, his piercing gaze fixed on Eleanor. "What are you trying to prove? That your chaos is more valuable than the stability we offer?" Eleanor replied with serene confidence, "We're not claiming to be perfect. But it is our imperfections that drive our progress. If you're looking for a planet that will bow obediently, Terra is not your choice. But if you seek a partner full of potential, we're ready to discuss." The room fell into a heavy silence. Oriones and his advisors said nothing more, but it was clear that the consortium was shaken. They had not anticipated that the species they deemed inferior could engage in such incisive dialogue. As the meeting concluded, lingering questions remained in the minds of every council member. They had come to impose their will but left feeling challenged, an experience they hadn't encountered in millennia. As the Galactic Council delved deeper into the study of humanity, they were astonished by the technological leaps Earth had achieved in a remarkably short period. Reports from the Council's technological espionage units listed inventions such as emotionally intelligent artificial intelligence, self-sustaining energy reactors, and weapons based on quantum principles. But what shocked the Council most was something humanity called the Simiverse. The Simiverse was not just a tool, it was a comprehensive simulation system designed to replicate any war, diplomatic negotiation, or crisis scenario with near-perfect accuracy. The system combined big data, machine learning, and quantum predictive modeling. It could not only anticipate an adversary's behavior but also suggest optimal strategies to counter it. To demonstrate the superiority of the Simiverse, Dr. Eleanor Vasquez invited the Council to participate in a live test. Oriones and his advisors, though skeptical, could not resist the challenge. The Etherian was connected to the Simiverse via a temporary quantum interface. Oriones entered the simulation environment alongside two of his closest advisors, while the humans were represented by Dr. Vasquez and Colonel Ethan Monroe. "We'll start with a simple scenario," Eleanor explained. "Two factions vying for control over resources on a neutral planet. The system will provide real-time data and analysis. In an instant, the surroundings transformed. They stood on a desert planet, with towering high-tech structures rising from the dusty terrain. Armies for both sides materialized, generated by the Simiverse, each equipped with technology and strategies reflective of their actual capabilities. The Council, with millennia of experience, quickly deployed their strategies. Oriones' advisors utilized optimized tactics based on cold, logical models. They directed warships, combat robots, and defense stations with absolute precision. In contrast, the humans appeared chaotic, even reckless. Colonel Monroe allowed his forces to implement seemingly nonsensical tactics, building defenses in non-strategic locations, using soldiers as decoys, and constantly adjusting plans mid-battle. Initially, Oriones scoffed at the apparent disarray. But as the Council forces gained a clear advantage, unexpected events began to unfold. By exploiting the non-strategic points, the humans turned seemingly worthless areas into military traps. As Oriones' forces advanced, hidden mechanisms were triggered, inflicting massive casualties on the Council's troops. Furthermore, the humans employed a strategy they referred to as creative destruction. A simulated unit was ordered to sacrifice itself, detonating a central explosive that triggered a chain reaction, collapsing the entire infrastructure of Oriones' forces. "Why are you so willing to sacrifice your soldiers so easily?" Oriones demanded, his frustration barely concealed. Colonel Monroe shrugged. "They're simulated troops. And sometimes, to win big, you have to take small losses." The Council adjusted their tactics, but the humans continued to shift their approach, leaving Oriones and his advisors unable to predict their next moves. They employed strategies that were not only effective but psychologically disarming, such as feigning surrender to lure the enemy into traps. In a 6-hour simulation session, the Council lost 3 out of 5 rounds. But what puzzled Oriones most was not the defeats but the Simiverse's analysis of the outcomes. Human unpredictability creates a distinct advantage. They do not rely solely on data but integrate intuition, emotion, and creativity. Dr. Vasquez added, "That's how we survive. Humanity hasn't had the luxury of perfection. We've had to innovate with whatever we have, often in the most desperate situations." Though reluctant to admit it, Oriones began to see humanity differently. He realized that their strength lay not in superior technology but in how they wielded it, not merely as a tool but as an extension of their survival instincts. After exiting the Simiverse, Oriones and his advisors spent hours in heated debate. Some still held the belief that humanity was a threat that needed to be eradicated. But for the first time in millennia, Oriones himself questioned his convictions. "We have conquered through strength and logic," he said. "But humanity, they represent something we've never encountered, unpredictability. Perhaps, instead of trying to control them, we should learn to cooperate." The Simiverse test did more than alter the Council's view of warfare, it changed how they saw themselves. The beings they once dismissed as inferior possessed a power no technology could replicate, the ability to create and overcome against all odds. After months of research, experimentation, and endless debates, the Galactic Council convened a decisive session at the Alliance's Central Command on Luxor Prime. Surrounded by shimmering crystal towers reflecting the light of distant stars, the Council's Grand Hall became the stage for representatives from all civilizations to discuss the future relationship between humanity and the Galactic Alliance. Oriones, standing before the assembly, spoke in a calm yet powerful tone. "For millennia, we have conquered, controlled, and imposed our will on smaller civilizations. But in facing humanity, we've not only encountered a challenge but have been forced to reflect on our very nature. They are not merely an underdeveloped species. They are a lesson we cannot ignore." Oriones' words echoed through the hall. Some representatives remained skeptical, arguing that cooperating with humanity would undermine the Council's authority. However, many others began to agree, especially after reviewing records from the Simiverse experiment. humanity had demonstrated that the chaos in their thinking and approach was not a weakness but a unique source of strength. The Council saw humanity's potential not just in warfare but in fields like science, art, and philosophy. Their groundbreaking work in quantum physics, bold artistic creations, and profound storytelling left the Council in awe. A representative from the Lithuania civilization remarked, "Humans have the ability to turn both suffering and joy into a drive for creation. That's something we, with our rigid thinking, cannot achieve." To formalize this new relationship, a human delegation was invited to Luxor Prime. Led by Dr. Eleanor Vasquez, Colonel Ethan Monroe, and a team of scientists, artists, and philosophers representing Earth's diversity, the initial encounters were tense, with both sides harboring concerns about cultural and ideological differences. At the negotiation table, Oriones posed a simple but pivotal question: if we choose to cooperate, what will humanity bring to the alliance that we do not already have? Dr. Vasquez smiled and confidently replied, "Unpredictability. You are accustomed to perfection and calculation. But sometimes, miracles happen only when you step off the safe path. We offer boundless creativity, something neither technology nor military might can replicate." Her response gave Oriones and many council members pause. They realized that this partnership was not just about strategic benefits but also about the opportunity for mutual learning. Once the agreement was signed, the first collaborative projects between the Council and humanity began. Galactic scientists were astounded by how humans combined artificial intelligence with art to create works capable of conveying emotion. Meanwhile, humanity gained access to advanced technologies they had never imagined, such as star-powered transportation and machines capable of healing any illness in seconds. One standout project was the development of Stellar Nexus, a space bridge system utilizing both galactic technology and the quantum principles humanity had pioneered in Simiverse. This system not only shortened travel time between planets but also opened opportunities to explore uncharted regions of space. Nevertheless, this new relationship was not without its hurdles. Some stubborn civilizations within the Council, particularly those that viewed war as the only means of maintaining power, expressed dissatisfaction. They continually questioned whether humanity could truly be trusted. On the human side, internal divisions emerged. Some questioned the Council's true intentions, fearing this was merely a temporary strategy before humanity would be subjugated. Movements opposing the alliance began to surface, arguing that humanity should stand on its own rather than rely on an interstellar coalition. Amid this tension, an unexpected event occurred: a star in a neutral space region collapsed, creating a small but extremely dangerous black hole. The black hole threatened to consume a densely populated planetary system, including members of the Council and several human colonies. This was the ultimate test of the new alliance. Both sides united, pooling resources and intellect to stabilize the black hole. During this effort, cultural and political barriers began to dissolve. Galactic and human scientists worked side by side, sharing bold ideas that no one had dared consider before. In the end, they succeeded in averting the disaster, a victory not only in science but also as a testament to the power of collaboration. For the first time in centuries, Oriones felt pride not from power but from unity. As the dust settled, the Council officially recognized humanity as an equal partner in the Galactic Alliance. Future generations would no longer see Earth as a small and inferior planet but as a symbol of resilience and boundless creativity. The journey for both sides was far from over, with new challenges and opportunities waiting on the horizon. But one thing became clear: by embracing differences and working together, they could unlock the greatest wonders of the universe that no civilization could achieve alone. The shadows of war gradually faded as two civilizations, one ruling the stars for millions of years, the other a fledgling race reaching for the cosmos, found common ground in curiosity and a thirst for knowledge. But this story was not just about peace or power. It was a reminder that, in the vast expanse of the universe, true strength lies not in the ability to conquer but in the willingness to understand and respect differences. The Galactic Council, their perspectives widened by humanity's strange but ingenious methods, gazed at these new allies with awe. And humanity, with a confident but friendly smile, invited them to explore a future no longer limited by fear or domination. As the final image of the handshake between representatives faded, one question lingered: was this truly the end of conflict, or merely the beginning of a new journey? Somewhere in the galaxy, another civilization might be silently watching, wondering, what will humanity do next? The universe still held countless mysteries, and this story was but a small piece of the grand mosaic. But one certainty remained: humanity, with their unique essence, would never stop striving to overcome the greatest challenges and leave the universe in awe.